Yeah, we've just wrapped up the preseason at 6-2, and we're looking forward to jumping into Big 12 play now and open up against Iowa State on Wednesday. Our players had the weekend off, so it was nice for them to get their first 2 days off since August 10th. And now we're ready to get back in the gym and get motivated to try to repeat as Big 12 champs.
Kind of a two-part question. First, when you lose a match like Rice, how maybe surprising is it to your girls, and then to come back the way you did against Texas A&M, how proud are you of the response to that?
Yeah, Rice is a different team than they've been in the past. They are very good. They've got a lot of nice pieces. They got a nice graduate transfer. Right now I think they're 13th in the RPI, but they've got the potential to run the table. So I think they're going to be a top 16 seed. It was disappointing to lose the game, but I think they got to see, and as coaches, you talk to your freshmen and to your sophomores about how well teams can play against Texas, especially in state, and they got a taste of that. I thought Rice played really, really well. Statistically, their numbers were off the charts the first two games. Then we battled back and kind of took control of the games 3 and 4. But when you get to game 5, you've got to perform, and little mistakes here and there ended up costing us the match. But I think it was a good lesson for them to learn. I think coming into A&M, they were a very good team too. They've got one of the best jump servers in the country. They've got some good balance, and the way that it was a very odd match statistically. One of the worst, not the worst, but one of the most different ones that I've seen as a coach. Everything was kind of flipped upside down, but we were down by 5 to 8 points in every game and kind of found a way back. And so this group has told me that when the game is in crunch time and there's some levels of performance that need to happen, that they're able to do that. We need to work on getting out of the gates a little bit faster. That'll be a big focus talking about this week.
After your 8 non-conference matches, what did you like about your team, and where do you guys still need to grow?
Yeah, one, we need to get healthy. I think that'll be, getting Bree back will give us some opportunity to get us a bigger offensive threat in the middle, especially in transition. It'll also give us the opportunity to kind of get a little bit bigger defensively. Right now, offensively, we've put up some pretty special numbers, but we've got to get a lot better defensively from the serve and pass game and the defensive side of the game, areas that we're really working on to improve on, and that'll be a big focus as we push through here in the Big 12.
Speaking of Bree, what is her status, and when she is healthy enough to return, do you expect it to be, she's back out there full go, or will she be eased back into it?
Yeah, I would imagine, we'll see today. I think she's going to get some reps today in practice, so we'll see where she is for Wednesday's or Saturday's match. It's an injury that we got to be very careful with and can't overdo it. I would imagine it will get her in there in some situational opportunities. I would doubt that, or limited amount of time of what we can see. It might be some of the 6-2 situation if we see that at times, to give her, because we'll probably be counting her jumps during the match just to kind of make sure that we're doing the right and making sure that we have her for the rest of the long haul. So it'll be kind of we want to see how she responds in the live situations and how that affects her lower extremity.
With her out, obviously, Asia and Molly have had to grow up pretty quickly.
Yes.
What did you think of their performance over the first 8 matches of their college careers?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with them. I think they've got some valuable experience. You see Asia's number going up. She had a career high in kills. I've been saying for quite some time, by October, November, she's going to start really rolling and become a very effective offensive weapon. But the area that we're working on and the focus is the defensive side. Can we block and can we transition and get her second opportunities? I think Molly's been very impressive. I think she's just very calm and has a lot of confidence from her teammates. I like the way that her processes with the game, and they've done both a phenomenal job. But we've been thin, and so we've got to find some different situations. I think you saw what it does with Ashley in the game in terms of her being a little bit more of an offensive threat, with teams wanting to kind of release a little bit more to our outsides, and we've got to find some balance in that area.
Coach, how important have the last couple days of rest been?
Rest is really important. It's not, some physically, obviously, we've got some little nagging injuries, which I think will heal up a little bit, but it's also the emotional side. I've been speaking it for some time that we've been very concerned about, where they are from an emotional standpoint. You saw lots of upsets this weekend. The game is getting a lot more parity. So you've got to make sure that you're in the right frame of mind to kind of compete. And, with the schedule that we've had, it's been very sporadic in our ability to practice consistently. So I'm excited to kind of get into a routine here as we get into the Big 12 and have better practice opportunities.
Your setter position, where do you feel you're at right now? Are we going to see both Jenna and Ashley going forward, or is it going to lean one or the other?
Yeah, I think, Jenna's done a nice job to this point, and Ashley's kind of been getting healthy, but I was very impressed with what Ashley can do. I think they both deserve some opportunities here as we kind of progress forward. I don't think there's one that is significantly out in front of the other. I thought, her performance coming off the bench was really good and did some things for us, so I like that. I'd like to see if she can continue that over a period of time, and she needs some opportunities to kind of be able to prove that as well. So I think it'll be situational stuff, but we're looking to see how we can implement both them into our offense.
What have you seen from Ashley over these years? Obviously, she came in very highly ranked,
Right.
struggled at times her freshman and sophomore years, but what is she kind of, I guess, mentally wise, shown you how she's handled that over these 3 years?
Yeah, Ashley's a very solid young woman. I mean, she's so fun to have in practice. She works every day. She's a great teammate. I mean, you check off all the boxes in terms of what you get in terms of the character of a young woman. And so she has that. It's been up and down for her a little bit. And obviously losing her starting spot last year was very challenging for her, but her mindset has been right. And, I think she's grown up a lot. I think getting comfortable, being a college student and leaving home and becoming more confident in herself is a big part of this. I saw a different behavior and a different demeanor in her. She was super aggressive in this match, and that's what we need to happen. I think when her mind sets that way, she sets really well. When she is a little bit more passive or quiet, then her hands tend to slow down a little bit more, and balls don't end up at the same location. So I thought what she did and what she's been working on has been really good.
Sorry, I'm late. Did you get out of non-conference what you'd wanted to leading into conference play?
Yeah, we got everything we wanted except an 8-0 record. But it's I didn't schedule it thinking we would be 8-0, especially with this young team. So I think we put ourselves in a good position. We've learned a lot about ourselves. I think we've played obviously some of the best teams in the country, so we know that we're in that mix. And now it's, can we define our defense to become a little bit better? Can we get our serve and pass to be a little bit better? And can we get our transition game to be a little bit better? So we learned a lot of things numerically from the statistics of where we need to be and how we're going to function, but now we've got some time to be able to make that happen.
And the way you responded to the Rice loss, were you really happy with the sweep of A&M and how they responded emotionally and mentally?
Yeah, I was happy for them. It was as I said, it was a very different match statistically. All the numbers were flipped upside down. Normally you're supposed to have your best hitting percentage when you pass a 3 option. It was our worst. Normally your second best is your 2 option, and that was our second worst. And when you pass a 1 option, it's supposed to be your worst hitting percentage. Well, our best was 1 option. Our second best was 2 option, and our worst was 3rd option. So we haven't seen that. We had a very low dig production. I think there were some things that we could do a lot better in terms of funneling and getting ourselves to that position.
Was the Rice thing a shock to their system?
I knew they were good. That's why we went up the night before. They're a talented team. They've got a great outside hitter. They've got great middles. They got good setting. They play great defense. So it was a shock, but I thought they outplayed us in games 1 and 2. They deserved to win those first 2 games, and I thought we handled them pretty well in 3 and 4. And you roll the dice in game 5 and had some opportunities and didn't take advantage of that. So that was the disappointing side of it all. But we learned something from it.
Would that hurt you in the long term?
I don't know. I was just saying that I think they have the chance to run the table. Western Kentucky is the one team that I think that can probably stop them potentially. So I think they'll be a top 16 seed. There's so many other teams going on. I think right now, the way that Baylor's playing, I think that's going to be a big part of our Big 12 conference, and we got to go and obviously take care of Iowa State first, and then Tech, and then the rest of the schedule. But if we are able to win our conference, then we'll put ourselves in a position to be a top 4 seed.
What is the state of the Big 12 right now, and do you feel that the national perception of the conference will hurt you guys down the road?
I don't think so, because Baylor's, now we've got 2 top 5 teams. in the country in our conference. So I think it's good. I think Iowa State's 8-3. They're 2 5-game matches away from being 10-1. So I think they're formidable. I think Kansas State has lost a lot of 5-gamers, and you know I think if you look around the country, all the conferences are taking a lot of hits. You know, even the Big Ten has not won as many games. I think Wisconsin's 4-4 now. So I think there's some matches that you know, Texas Tech beat Ohio State, which was good for our conference, and we've got some other good wins. You know, for us, it's taking care of our conference. If we do that, then we'll be in a position.
What have you seen from Iowa State, and what do you expect from them on Wednesday?
Well, they're very well coached. They're like kind of a blue-collar team. They kind of get after it, and they compete really well. They always have. You know, they've got 2 good middles. They've got solid outsides, and they've got a good setter. I need to watch a little bit more film. Like Mondays are usually our film sessions with our team, so we'll spend some time watching that. And then tonight I'll get to work with Iowa State a little bit more in terms of what we'll be doing.
Any more questions?
How do you spend the time off, or were you working all weekend?
We had recruits in all weekend, and I had a wedding I had to go to from one of my former players. So 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock was my rest time. I went to bed early last night.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay.